The world is filled with rich history, with each discovery being even more shocking than the other. Let's take a look at the archaeological finds in China that you won't believe exist. Yangguangjia Ruins. The Yangguangjia Ruins belong to the Yangzhou city in China, and the ruins are dated back to the prosperous Yangshao period. The Yangshao period was spread out between 5000 to 3000 BC, but what is it about these ruins that makes them so astonishing? Well, it turns out that the Yangguangjia Ruins' size is what makes them stand out and something that swept archaeologists off of their feet. The burial site within these ruins spread out over a massive area of 85,000 square meters, which happens to be a little over 900,000 square feet. This burial site contains a total of 2,000 graves, and while that may sound normal in today's world, during the time of the Yangshao period, burial sites used to have a lot less graves. This led to the interesting discovery that perhaps the modern culture of large burial grounds was started from the people of the Yangshao culture. It's also believed that the people of the Yangshao culture had started trading cultural notions with the people of China, and digging deeper into the Yangguangjia ruins solves a ton of mysteries related to Chinese history. Before we get into more details about archaeological finds in China that you won't believe exist, if you're liking our content so far, then make sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Make sure you also subscribe to our channel and turn on the notifications button so you can be notified every time we post a new video, as well as be updated on some interesting insights about what's going on in the world. Peking Man. When it comes to archaeology, some of the major findings are dedicated towards finding and resolving mysteries regarding the origin of man. It seems like China is also contributing towards this, and some of the remains of people from China have shown some significant insights to archaeologists. The remains found in China help fill in a number of blanks, and these remains dated back to 1929 to 1937 and included a total of 15 partial crania, 11 mandibles, teeth, skeletal bones, and an extensive amount of stone tools that helped archaeologists make some interesting findings. All of these were found in a cave, which has now been titled as the Peking Man site and is located in Zhoukoudian. After collaborating these findings with multiple technological tools, it was discovered that these remains dated back over 750,000 years. Based on the bone structure of the skeletons, the Peking Man statue was created to help visualize what the Peking Man looked like. The Peking Man created a link between Homo erectus and what man looks like now. However, there are some archaeologists who believe that the Peking Man signifies a failed attempt at evolution. Jingyang Palace. There's no doubt in the fact that China has a very rich history and has multiple dynasties over the years. As a result of the many dynasties that existed in China over the years, the country also happens to have multiple palaces, some of which have gotten lost over time. The Jingyang Palace dates back to the Sui dynasty, which was spread over the time period of 581 to 618 AD. The palace was later discovered by archaeologists in 2016 in the ancient Xingyang city in the Shanxi province. Owing to its rich history, the site has been studied thoroughly by the Chinese Academy of Social Sciences and the Chinese Museum. At first, after investigating thoroughly, the conclusion was derived that this site might belong to the Tang period of 618 to 907 AD, but after further digging and finding certain items, it was later concluded that this site was indeed the palace of the Sui dynasty, as archaeologists had earlier predicted. Stone and jade items. Back in 1924, a villager in the Sichuan city of China found stone and jade items in a sewage drain. This drain happened to be located 24 kilometers away from Chengdu. However, at first, these stone and jade items weren't given enough attention, and it wasn't until 1986 that historians realized the actual significance of these stone and jade items. In 1986, historians were able to discover two pits which contained Bronze Age riches, which included jade, numerous elephant tusks, and 8 feet high bronze statues. The statues are a testament of the high technical competence that the Chinese possessed at the time. None of the findings from anywhere else in the world during the same era show the same level of technical competence as depicted by these 8 feet high bronze statues. The valley also contains remains which signify that some of the people were banished from the valley and that they had been offered as a sacrifice as part of some ritual. Pretty terrifying, right? These remains were dated back to 5,000 years ago and were identified with the ancient Shu Valley. The many pits found in Sichuan City were concluded to be sacrificial pits, and out of these pits, the numbers 3, 4, 7, and 8 have been dated back to the Shang dynasty, which ruled between 1600 to 1046 BC. The fossils found were put under carbon-14 testing, and the average age for these fossils were determined to be 1131 and 1012 before the Common Era. Pit 7 and 8's excavation is reaching its completion stage, and it's in these pits that some of the most interesting discoveries were made. One of the relics found in pit number 8 was a human figure with the body of a snake and a ceremonial jar which was known as a zun. The zun is set up on a 3 feet high platform and is surrounded by bronze animals, with the entire setup dedicated to a sacrificial ritual. In pit 7, a brass box was found with a tortoiseshell-shaped lattice cover that were hung together on one side. The box contained an ample amount of jewelry made out of jade, and the box's design was such that it depicted the head of dragons. Majority of the artifacts found in pit number 7 were small items. However, most of them proved to be extremely significant, and one such item was found in the northeast corner of the pit. This was a paper-thin folded sheet of bronze. Can you imagine that? Bronze sheets that are as thin as paper? We have to admit that Chinese craftsmen did have a high level of finesse in whatever they did. 1 million-year-old human skull. In the city of Xiyun, archaeologists have discovered a skull that's dated back to 1 million years. This skull is said to be essential in providing human origin and bringing scientists one step closer to solving the mystery of evolution in China and the rest of East Asia. This skull hasn't yet been fully excavated due to its delicate nature, but the part of the skull that has been exposed to archaeologists includes the nose, eye sockets, and the left cheekbone. This has helped archaeologists reach the conclusion that the skull's structure is still intact, and upon full excavation, they'll be able to make some insightful discoveries. Tian Kingdom. Moving to the south of China, archaeologists have discovered ruins that date back to the Tian Kingdom. The ruins found in this region have helped archaeologists envision the administrative and architectural practices that were set in place by the people belonging to the Western Han Dynasty. The discovery consists of many relics that help scientists tie the gaps between the cultural differences and depict the lifestyle of the Western Han Dynasty. Moreover, these findings have helped archaeologists move one step closer to understanding how China progressed over the years and became a unified country. Constant attempts are made by scientists throughout China to further make discoveries that would further lead them to clearing the ambiguity that surrounds China's evolution to where it stands now. Who knew that the country, which consists of the Great Wall of China, hosts some of the greatest secrets that history has yet to reveal? Out of the multiple archaeological findings in China that we have discussed in this video, which one of them did you think was the most fascinating? Can you think of any other archaeological findings in China that you think are interesting to make the cut? Let us know what you think about these different findings in the comments down below.